When you think of the word adventure, you think of the Boy Scouts of America. And today, to talk about adventure and all that entails, is Al Lambert, the Assistant Chief Scout Executive over the Outdoor Adventures team. Now, Al, what is the Outdoor Adventures team, and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thanks, Brian. The Outdoor Adventures team is a new group that they put together that I became the Assistant Chief of back in October.
Okay.
We say grace over a number of things in the outdoor world, from things that face councils to things that kids experience every summer. So the things that are familiar to you: Philmont, Northern Tier, the Sea Base, the Summit program. Both of our jamborees, and I say two because we're going to have the World Scout Jamboree at the Summit in 2019. The National Jamboree is the other one. Plus we have the Outdoor Program and Properties Group, which works with council, camp standards, camp schools, all the things that help councils serve more kids in the outdoors. In addition to that, we serve the International Division, which is providing lots of interesting outdoor experiences for kids around the world.
So you get a purview over pretty much all the fun stuff that happens in the BSA.
I am the Director of Fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's great.
Maybe that's a good title.
Yeah, there
the
you go.
Director of Fun. And so one thing that you and I have talked about before is the definition of adventure and how that varies for different people. So what's great about the BSA is no matter what your definition of adventure is, there's a program for you. What's your take on that?
Yeah, and I think it's important that we have a dialogue about adventure like you and I have talked about. You've seen some recent blog posts that you've done, and
and Instagram content as well.
Yeah, and all sorts of places. As I go around the country talking to folks, I want to engage in a dialogue about what adventure is. And I use an analogy like this. You know, if you're a Scoutmaster that's been to Philmont twice with your kids, you have a definition of adventure.
Right.
And if you're a Scoutmaster or a Cub Master in the inner city, you might have a different definition of adventure. But even more important, Brian, if you're the mom of an 8-year-old girl that just joined the Cub Scouts in one of our early adopter programs, you probably have a totally different idea of what adventure is. And I think the Boy Scouts of America is positioned perfectly right now to have a great dialogue about what adventure is and how we excite that sense of adventure in kids from the beginning all the way through the adults.
That's great. And speaking of the adults, you know, we know the scouting program is for the youth, and at most levels it's run by the youth, but there's an exciting opportunity that you're going to tell us about today to reward the adults and thank the adults for all the hard work they do. So what is Adult Adventure Weekend?
Adult Adventure Weekend is something that everybody was crying out for at the last couple of jamborees in 2013 and in 2017.
Okay.
Basically, we get tons of adults and staff that come help support the National Scout Jamboree at the Summit. On their exit surveys, the number one thing that they told us after 2013 and 2017 was they wanted to come use the phenomenal facilities of the Summit.
Right.
They wanted to be able to experience the zip lines, go out and go shooting or mountain biking or do the things that we built the Summit to do.
Right.
So we got smart, and after a couple of us talked late last year, we said, let's try it. We don't move real quick on new programs. Usually it takes a long time to get them down.
Right.
This one, we scheduled a date, June 20th.
Yep.
Over at the Summit, we set a price, $295. We're going to invite every adult in the Boy Scouts of America to come play at the Summit. If you were thinking about what the Summit could provide or what kind of exciting programs it has, come. This is a great chance for you.
And so you get to experience all the stuff as an adult that the Scouts usually get to experience, and it's a good way to maybe recharge your batteries too, right?
Oh, yeah. And can you imagine the video footage we're going to get of some of these adults? It's
Yeah.
going to be awesome.
I know. And they'll be able to take that back to their Scouts and say, okay, I checked out the Summit. It really does live up to the hype. So let's all go, to the World Jamboree or to a future Summit event, right?
Yep. We're going to get some more details on it here in a minute, but I want to make sure that every adult, you don't have to be a staff member from one of those jamborees. You might be a leader back in your council. Everyone has the opportunity to go and experience all the fun things that our kids get to do when they come to the Summit, either in a jamboree or in a summer experience.
Yeah, before we get to more of those details, what has been the response from the field? Have you heard some feedback from people about Adult Adventure Weekend, and do they like the concept?
Oh, yeah, they love it. We're hearing lots of good feedback. But again, we're trying to design programs we can launch in a short period of time.
Sure.
So maybe we come up against some schedule conflicts and those kinds of things. Our adults are busy supporting programs all over the country.
Right.
Then. But we want to, again, encourage them all. We're hearing great feedback about opening up this opportunity for folks to come.
That's great. Well, thanks so much to Al for joining us today and for your leadership of the Outdoor Adventures group here at the BSA. And we're going to hear from Chris Sawyer next, and he's going to talk about Adult Adventure Weekend, some more of the specifics. But thanks for all your leadership,
Brian.
and appreciate you joining us.
Take care.
Thanks. First of all, I just got to say, this sounds like an awesome opportunity, Adult Adventure Weekend. I mean, people who haven't been to the summit, they're in for a pretty great treat once they get there and find out that everything that you can do there is at their disposal, right?
Right.
It's going to be so exciting. So we covered the cost, $295, which actually seems like a really good deal for 3 full days of fun and 4 nights. What all does that include? Is it meals, activities, everything basically?
Right. So those are good questions. It's going to cover 11 meals, meals beginning on Wednesday night dinner, all the way through Sunday morning breakfast.
Okay.
And there's going to be 6 half-day program sessions that the participants will have a chance to register themselves. Part of those programs are on the property, related to the same programs that Al mentioned: mountain biking, zip lining, shooting sports, water activities. There's going to be a ton of fun to be had there, and then also people are going to be able to connect to some programming in the New River Gorge related to rafting and hiking and some really cool historical areas to check out and tour.
It's a beautiful area. So we got to go back to those 6 half-day adventures. So do the adults who are participating, do they get to select what they do, or is it a schedule that's already predetermined, or how does that work?
Right, so they have a chance to go onto the registration site and click on the orange button to register, and then you go through the process, and you have an opportunity to select to do whichever programs are available at the program times that are listed.
That's cool. So all these things you've been seeing pictures and videos of at SBR, now you get a chance to hand pick each one. So you can choose your own Adult Adventure Weekend experience, right?
That's right.
That's so cool.
You're in complete control
Yes.
of your adventure.
That's good. That's a good tagline right there. Okay, so let's talk about the other adults who will be there, because one of the cool things about going to the summit is it brings people from all over the country together. So do you see this as an opportunity for adults to kind of exchange ideas and share what's working in their home packs and troops and crews?
Definitely, and also a great time to generate some energy and some excitement from those ideas to take home to your local councils and to your units, and also a way to help encourage kids just to get to local council camps or on local backpacking trips or whatever resources and opportunities that you have in your home councils.
So we know $295 is the cost. We know June 20th through 24th are the dates. What about transportation? Let's get into the transportation details a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Participants can fly into the Charleston, West Virginia airport. They're going to be the closest locations to fly into. There is a rental car service through Enterprise where you can actually rent a car in Charleston and drive it down to the Summit Welcome Center. And then they'll come and pick it up from Beckley and take it to Beckley and use it while you're at the summit, and then deliver it back to the Ruby Welcome Center for you to pick up and drive back to Charleston on Sunday morning. There is some additional information that can be found in the Adult Adventure Program Guide, and then also you can email the email address below, and they'll have some additional information on travel for you.
Also, we know that a lot of people will be driving their personal cars because they live within a short distance of the summit. Certainly people who live on the East Coast qualify, and there will be a place for them to park their car while they're there and be transported onto the site. Is that correct?
Well, we're actually going to have them park on site at the summit. So they'll check in at the Ruby Welcome Center, and then during the check-in hours, and then we'll have a check-in process for anybody that arrives after 5 p.m. that's on site. But then, yeah, all the vehicles will be parked on site at the summit, so it's going to be a really easy transition. And with some of the program details, there's going to be some self-guided exploring in the New River Gorge, whether it's hiking or checking out some of those historical tours. So there's going to be a good access to the vehicles there.
Sounds like a great opportunity. So, Chris, let's close by asking what you're most looking forward to about Adult Adventure Weekend and this new opportunity to really thank our Scout leaders for all their service to Scouting.
I just, to me personally, I think back to my own Scouting experience and the adult leaders that made that possible for me. They took us out on all sorts of different kinds of adventures. As a kid, looking up to them, being able to say, hey, you should be able to have your own adventure, and to share some ideas or to share what you're doing in our troop with them, take it back into the councils to be excited about getting more kids outside more.
That's great. And for more information, as Chris and Al said, you can go to the link that's on your screen right now. We want to thank Chris and Al for joining us and sharing some more great details about Adult Adventure Weekend, and we'll see you out there.